Hey everyone, it's Aries. This is a review for Once Upon a Time Season 5, Episode 3. Hmm. I forgot the name of the episode. No, I didn't forget the name of the episode. I just don't feel like saying it. But other than that, like I said, Episode 5, Season 3, Once Upon a Time. Basically, I'm just going to say, basically, in this episode, we find out a lot about Arthur, basically. We found out a lot about Arthur in this episode. We basically find out Arthur is the villain. He's not the the Disney Arthur, supposed to be the hero, but he's basically in this I think in this season of the war of Once Upon a Time, he's going to be the villain. Um, let me just break it down to you. Because in Camelot, like I said, Regina, she basically claimed to be the savior, and she's basically trying to find out how to free Merlin from a tree. She finds something in Merlin's books. It's a toadstool. I forgot what it was called. That you can use that will help you um, communicate with people within different dimensions and even people under spells. So Prince Charming sets out on a quest for this toadstool. Also, Arthur decides to join him on this quest. Um, back in back in this quest, but I'm kind of jumping ahead. But in the beginning, in the opening of this episode, the dwarves, they're in the mine. They're mining dust, the magical dust, whatever, and Emma, who is now the Dark One, appears, and the doors are like, "You're not getting any of this dust." And Emma's like, "That's not what I want." And she takes one of the door's pickaxes. Um, if you haven't watched episode 2, then you won't understand why she took the pickaxe. But we know why she took the pickaxe, because she's trying to free Excalibur from the stone to join Excalibur and the Dark One dagger back together. Um, but I'm basically what I'm gonna do is, because I feel like instead of me going from Camelot to Storybook back to Camelot to Storybook, which in this episode it basically did, went from Camelot to Storybook, Storybook to Camelot. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm going to try to explain everything in its entirety. What happened in Storybook and then what happened in Camelot. So let's stay in Storybrooke for a while. So basically, with that pickaxe, she went back to her house where she has the sword and the stone locked up in her basement. Her spiritual guide, which is Rumpelstiltskin, the used to be Rumpel, Dark One Rumpel, basically tells her it's not going to work. She tried it, boom, it didn't work. So basically, he tells her you have to find your hero, one pure, to pull the sword from the stone. Okay. Also, okay, then still, like I said, I'm gonna try to stay in Storybrooke. I'm gonna try to say what everything that happened in Storybrooke before I say everything that happened in Camelot. So we're gonna stay in Storybrooke, basically. And now, since we're staying in Storybrooke, Regina finds a book that she may have read in Camelot, because she finds a note with her handwriting, basically a question mark, on the toadstool, which I told you in the beginning that Arthur and Prince Charming set out on a quest on. And they're trying to figure out why, because remember, their memories are erased, because Emma set the curse and erased their memories of the 6 weeks they were in Camelot. Um, so they were trying to figure out why they were looking for this toadstool. Um, the doors come in, tell them what Emma did, la la la, whatever. King Arthur comes in and tells them that they found a chest that had magical relics in it, and that one of the relics that they were looking for could get them back home. So Arthur and Prince Charming set off to find out what happened to it. They go to the camp where the chest is presented. It shows that the Dark One didn't do that, because remember, the Dark One, she doesn't need to pick locks to get into anything. So you see that someone picked this lock because of all the scraping and stuff. So they go to Belle, who's now running Gold's Rumple's store, to see if anyone brought any objects from this chest to the store. But Belle, she's were trying to find an item that Rumple touched while he was a man and not the Dark One, because they were trying to restore him, basically. Because, those rose petals on the rose that she got from the blue fairy are falling off. Basically, he's dying. She says no. So no one has. So Prince Charming sees his cup. He takes his cup to the camp and basically tells them, this cup can tell him if someone stole it. And if you wouldn't believe it, the guy who brought Arthur the chest ran out the crowd. Basically, the cup that Prince Charming used didn't have any magic or power whatsoever. It was just a regular cup. He just lied to see the reaction of people in the crowd. And he got the reaction that he needed because the thief ran off. So they go chasing after the thief. Catch the thief. They go after the thief, catch the thief. The thief explains his story, tell him he doesn't know nothing about a beacon or a beam, whatever they were looking for. But Prince Charming ends up finding the mushroom that Regina was talking about in the book. So he takes this mushroom to Regina and Snow, and they are probably setting off then they're going to use this mushroom to try to talk to Merlin to see what they can do to get the darkness out of Emma. But while they're doing that, while they're doing that, we had Belle, I skipped a good part. Because in this episode, Hook and Robin are doing some conversating. Hook saw Robin at Granny's restaurant, and he started talking and basically telling, Robin that Emma has this locked door. And while they were conversating about this door, Granny hands him a bag, and basically Emma wants to meet Hook on his ship. So Hook meets Emma on his ship, and basically she wants to, because she still loves him. She still wants him. Even though she is the Dark One, she still has love for him, and she still wants him. So she basically wants to have lunch with him on the ship, as they used to do when she was not the Dark One. And so, since she is the Dark One, she has this pitch white hair, and she's wearing all black now, and she's kind of pale. So for Hook, she turned herself into the regular Emma to please him, so they could sit down and have lunch. And they start talking about their relationship, their love, trust, and Hook, he cuts her chest, and he wants to know what's behind the locked door. And Emma, she starts talking in circles because she really doesn't want to tell him what's behind that door. And he basically starts dismissing her, basically. And she asks him, does does he love her? And basically she's saying, if you love me, something I forgot. If you love me, but other than that, if you don't love me, I'll let you go. And he basically said, I loved you. So she leaves. Then, him and Hook have another conversation about the door. So they're basically planning on trying to break into Emma's house to see what's going on behind this door. While that's happening, Belle had came into the restaurant to pick up food, and Granny's telling her to sit down. She needs to eat. And Belle looks at the rose, and there's only one petal left. But while she's looking at that rose with that one petal left, she's noticing that the petals are starting to, it's like the rose is starting to recreate itself. The petals are starting to float back onto the rose, which is meaning that Rumple is alive and is up and about. So she runs to the gold store and she sees Rumple is not there. And she's looking at the rose like, what's going on? Because the rose is back full and Rumple is not there. Now we're going to go to the jail where they locked up the thief. Arthur walks in. And, he's basically, and we find out the chest of magical relics was basically a plan that him and Arthur, that Arthur came up with him that involves him. And so Arthur convinces him to drink poison because he's basically afraid that everyone in Storybrooke will find out about his plan, about him trying to basically rebuild Camelot in Storybrooke and kind of like basically take it over. So the thief ends up drinking in the poison and disappears. And now, back in the basement of Emma's place, she found that one thing that Belle needed to basically restore Rumple. So she restores Rumple, and she basically, I would say, makes a deal with him, or try, I would say make a deal with him, because that's usually what the Dark One does, makes a deal, and basically tells him she's going to give him something that he always wanted, since he's restored back to the cowardly Rumpelstiltskin, who is basically pure now. He's basically nothing now. He's not evil. He's not good. He's pure. So I think she basically told him, I have a job for you. And that was basically the end of the episode. But now, the stuff that happened in Camelot. In Camelot, basically, I said we're going to start at Merlin's office. Merlin's office. I'm just going to call it office because this is basically what it is. It's where all his stuff is. And that's when we came across that toadstool that can help them communicate with people. And Prince Charming and Arthur set out on a quest to find this toadstool. While in Camelot, Prince Charming and Arthur, they have a lot of commentary between one another. And Arthur, they're getting ready for the quest, and they're in a room with the round table. Arthur tells them about the round table, even the most prestigious looking chair, because Prince Charming thought it was Arthur's, but come to find out that wasn't Arthur's chair, that was Lancelot's chair. And how Lancelot betrayed Arthur by his love for Guinevere and stuff like that. And Prince Charming tells him he's running with Lance, and basically tells Arthur that Lance is deceased. So they head out. And so he brings in the same guy in Storybrooke that basically was conspired in by Arthur. Brings in the chest of magical relics. Within that chest was a skeleton hand holding the church torch with a flame that doesn't go out, basically. I think it was a beacon, or not a beacon, something. I forgot what he called it. And they're using that on their quest. Also within Camelot, Regina and Selena, Miss Green, Miss Wicked herself, have a conversation as well. And Selena, basically, Regina was basically asking Miss Wicked, why were you trying to, about her escape back to Oz? And basically, she's saying, Regina, you got everything, and basically, this is my fresh start, basically. And Regina was like, so you would just take Robin's child away from him, and because I didn't tell you that, Regina basically made Selena a mute, took her voice away so she couldn't speak on anything. And Miss Wicked can't use her powers because of the bracelet that she's wearing. That's basically, not subduing, but you know what I mean. It's restricting her power. And basically, so Regina's telling her that she's not taking the child, that her child will be well protected and taken care of. But she said, as for you, I can't say the same. Okay, so Prince Charming and King Arthur are on their quest for this toadstool. And the forest is dark. I think it's the dark forest or whatever. And so the lantern came in good to play, because it's like in the afternoon in this forest, but it's dark. So they come across this bridge, and across the bridge they see that there's the toadstool. So Prince Charming, goes across this bridge. It's like a little rickety old bridge. He gets across the bridge. He takes the mushroom, and then when he takes the mushroom to recross the bridge back over to the bridge. I'm sorry, to recross over the bridge. Magical armor attacks him. He's fighting in armor, la da dee dee, ding ding ding, and one of the pieces of armor trips him, makes him fall into the ocean, tries to drown him. Arthur saves him. So Arthur saved him. They get back to land, and Prince Charming finds out that the toadstool is gone. Okay, he finds out the toadstool is gone. So he's like, they have a conversation between themselves. Go back to the castle. Arthur knights him as one of the knights of the Round Table. Basically tells him, basically gives him Lancelot's chair. Snow is there with the baby. Baby starts crying. She goes out in the hallway, where basically someone is sneaking around in the hallway. She asks who's there. Lancelot walks out, and he basically warns her. Lancelot walks out. And we're like, hold up, ain't he supposed to be dead? But no, Lancelot walks out, and he's basically warning her that there's a terrible villain in Camelot. And she's like, yeah, we know. I mean, our daughter, she's the Dark One, and but we're here to free Merlin. He's like, no, Arthur. He says Arthur is a terrible villain in Camelot. And I found out why. And because remember that toadstool that Prince Charming lost, Arthur took it. Because him and Guinevere are sitting at the round table. Well, he's sitting at the round table, and Guinevere's there. And he unwraps his cloth, and it's the toadstool that Prince Charming was looking for. And he's basically telling Guinevere, anything for my kingdom. It's to protect the kingdom, basically. So basically, that's it in Camelot. So basically, this episode of Once Upon a Time was a good episode. Of course, you got to get used to the back and forth. But other than that, it was good. I liked it. So that's all I got to say. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Go watch it. I may have missed something. Go watch it. So once again, this is Aries. Like, subscribe, share, email me. Once again, like, subscribe, share, email me. Thank you for watching. All right. Y'all have a nice day.